Look out, Teddy. Ow! Good grief. We found him! We found our sleeping beauty! Oh, my bollocks just took a big beating. Excuse me, but are you a vandal?
The Mid-Sodor Railway was a narrow-gauge railway on the island of Sodor. Opened in 1880, it weaved through the countryside and mountains of Arlesdale. It closed in 1947, but its legacy lived on. The engines were all excited. A large book was to be written about the engines of Sodor by some railway enthusiasts, and everyone wanted to be in it.
You know what? I bet you I'll have the longest biography. I've had so many interesting adventures in my life. It's quite a lot.
Rubbish! I've had a larger impact on this railway than any of you. Yeah, like how many times you've gotten stuck in tunnels. At least I still have my original funnel, unlike Frankenfunnel over here.
Which was lost on your behalf, Sir Handel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it,
Enough! You've been squabbling ever since this was announced. Besides, none of you have the honour of being the namesake of this railway like me.
Now this is how you take a photograph, boys. Oh boy, your ego is really shining through. Did you tell them about the time you got stuck on a hill? Ha!
The narrow-gauge enthusiasts first went to the Culdee Fell Railway.
I don't see the point in all this. Why are we being exploited? You'd think Patrick of all engines would be pleased to have his photo in a book, wouldn't you, Eric? Quite so, Ernest, being the hot-aired one. That was a splendid ride, Culdee.
My pleasure, sir. Is there anything else you'd like to know about our railway?
Well, I guess there is one thing I'm still curious about. I don't recall seeing a number 1 engine here. Am I forgetting some history?
Oh, you mean Godred. He was our number 1, but he,
Oh, wait a minute. Of course. I completely forgot. Was he the one who had the accident on opening day?
Yes, that was him. Stupid Godred.
Stupid me for forgetting. Is it true that he was cannibalized to repair you all, and that's the reason he disappeared, because all his parts were taken out? Yeah, technically that's somewhat true. The reality is, he was in such disrepair that, there just really wasn't much we could do with him. Yes, a few parts were used to mend us, but in the end, he was just scrapped. I mean, he was pretty damaged beyond repair.
Look out! You never learn, do you, Sir Handel?
Wasn't my fault. These trucks were being careless.
Or perhaps the true culprit, hiding in plain sight, was the engine pushing the trucks.
Oh, shut up.
No, he's very valid. I mean, you came in really rough.
Oh, big deal. Sue me.
That might actually happen if a passenger breaks a bone in their body, per se. I mean, we're at stake here. We're at risk.
Ooh, and the Fin Controller will use me as a generator behind the shed. I've heard this scary talk before.
A generator? Who even gave you that idea?
Well, Duke, of course. Remember that engine on our old railway who was turned into a generator for being a cock-up? I forgot what his name was.
Oh, you mean, I don't remember his name either. He was green, wasn't he? Kind of like me. Something like Splasher, I think. Yeah, I think... nah.
You know, I don't even remember what happened to him. Was he there when the line closed? That's one Mid-Sodor engine we haven't got info on. We'll have to ask around.
Hello there, fine engine. And who might you be?
I'm Neil. Have we met before?
I'm Bertram, and you know what? I do believe we have met. Back in 1941, on the 13th of September.
How the hell do you remember that?
It was not long before the Mid-Sodor Railway closed. You came to Arlesborough Station one day, and I remember because you were a very unique-looking engine.
Yes, I did. You have an unusually comprehensible memory, Barty?
Bertram! It's Bertram, my dear fellow. Anyway, I better be off. Nice meeting you again, Neil. The Sodor and Mainland Railway's number 2.
Uniqueness or awkwardness? I can't decide.
I find it so odd that he can remember how many blocks of coal he took on a specific day, yet he doesn't remember how he got to this railway.
Well, that's Bertram for you. A very good and brave fellow, but, definitely not all there in the head.
The next day, the historians came to the Skarloey Railway. They got a chance to interview every engine. You know, you and Duke have quite a lot in common, having been left abandoned. You were at least left outside.
Well, technically, I was just at the edge of a mine shaft before I was moved out by the signalman. But that means I was exposed to the elements! Duke was sealed and protected in his shed, while I had no door and had to brave the wind and rain!
Apparently, the tram engine who found you thought you were a ghost at first.
A lot of people did. The only person who really knew about me was the signalman.
My name is actually supposed to be a reference to my builders, Ruston and Hornsby. Not my orange colour. That's just a coincidence.
My name's Mighty. I guess you could say I'm the leader, or the front of the engine.
Excuse me, just because your name is first doesn't make you the front. Plus, I'm the one with the actual given name. You're just an adjective.
Yeah, but I was built first.
No, you weren't. Our boiler is one object. You just had the funnel put on first. Besides, when are you going to turn around so I can have my picture? Don't worry, there's no need for that. I have a solution to have you both in the picture. What? Just kidding. We'll do both of you.
I was originally named Stuart, after my builder, Kerr Stuart Wren. I changed it when I came here because, I wasn't really a big fan of that name anyway.
Not as official as Sir.
I was actually on both railways. I spent a while at the Mid-Sodor Railway before going back to Wales. I was then loaned to the Skarloey Railway while Skarloey and Reneus were being mended. Finally, I was brought back to live here permanently.
I've spent over 30 years working in that factory. So I've heard. The others reckon that's where you've got your strong language from. Well, you would too if you had to work in that pile of shit.
I tried to keep busy in that shed, as much as an engine can do in that situation.
That included sleeping or
Talking to myself. I felt like no time had passed by the time I was rescued.
Indeed. We have a question for you. Do you remember a locomotive called Smudger?
Smudger, that was it.
Oh, yes. I remember that little green devil. He was turned into a generator, wasn't it, for misbehaving, wasn't he?
Yes, after he caused too many accidents. I know it sounds harsh, but trust me, if you knew Smudger, you would say that was too light of a punishment.
We were just curious as to what happened to him when the railway closed. He was still a generator, right? Did they not find him when they found you?
No, in fact he actually wasn't there when the railway closed. He left a long time before that. Well, actually, he left the shed at least. He was moved somewhere around, I want to say in 1926 or 1927, but where he was moved to, we don't know. I believe it was somewhere else along the railway, like a quarry or station. One of the engines said he saw him being moved down the line, but wherever he ended up, it was out of view of the railway. What happened later on? Who knows?
I'd say he's either buried somewhere or scrapped.
Interesting. We're actually riding the Arlesdale Railway in a few days. Might be worth looking around the old Mid-Sodor.
If you see his rusted remains, then let me know. That would give me some peace of mind.
Well, what if it turned out that I was Smudger repainted? I remember you saying he looked exactly like Dolgoch.
When I first met you, I'll admit I did get a split second of terror. But he's not the only Mid-Sodor engine whose fate was left in the air. You should look into the history of engines like Jim.
Peter Sam told us about Jim. We think he was sold off after that aluminum works was closed. But anyway, thank you for your story, Duke.
Good luck, Mr. Brackley.
Alright, here are your extra trucks.
Ah, thank you, my dear engine. Did they treat you well today?
What do you think?
Why, my dear Sir Handel, those trucks need kindness. They could have grown up without a parental figure
poor guy.
on the streets, and then they'd have no choice but to embark on a life of crime. Oh, but sir, why does it have to be Rex? Why can't I take the Railway Society?
Given what happened the other day, I don't think it would be a good idea. You may have developed a negative reputation after that incident with the watermill last week.
Oh, give me a break. It was those blasted coaches' fault. They pushed me. Oh my God, the nerve of some people. They're all jealous. I'm hot, they're not. They just need to deal with it. Tweet it, folks. Hashtag Molten Mike.
Molten Mike? I don't get it.
We'll be waiting to welcome them to our railway. If you two keep doing that, they'll be creeped out by your simultaneous dialogue. That's what makes us unique.
All right, up we go.
Wait, driver, sorry, just a sec. I need you urgently.
Boy, let's have some fun with Mr. Loudmouth and take him for a ride.
Someone might want to check if...
Wait, I'm still coupled. Help!
Oh dear.
What? Stop that incline!
Mayday! Mayday! Exploratory expletives!
If it couldn't hold Duncan's weight, there's no way it will...
Help! Help! Help!
Driving! What's wrong, goddammit? I'm catching more of his bullshit! That's the stupidest bullshit I've ever heard. Shit! He's awake! Good God, you all right? You had quite a smash.
Ow. What happened?
For some reason, the incline started moving while you were still attached.
They gave the okay.
No, I didn't. I was with the manager. I can attest to that, but never mind the blame. It's a damn good thing no one was hurt. Or at least no humans. Your funnel doesn't look wobbly, though, unlike Peter Sam.
Excuse me, my funnel feels fine. It's mainly just my head, Falcon.
Falcon? I've not... Oh, I think he needs to get checked out.
The bridge is okay for now, but it will depend on how much rain we get. What's a little rain gonna do? Wash it away when it's that high? It's not just a little rain. My driver says the reports are getting worse. We're headed for a big storm this evening and lots of flooding.
It's the rocks and soil we need to worry about. If it gets too loose or there's a landslide, that bridge will be in trouble. I think we should close it as a precaution and then survey the damage after the storm. I'll have Freddy take some men to put up a sign tonight.
When was the bridge last repaired?
The last major upgrade was well before I was born, let alone you two being built. I think it was in the 30s, if I'm correct.
Hello. How is Bertram after that accident?
He seems to be alright. He hit his head quite hard, though. He actually called me Falcon.
Yeah, it's unusual for him to have accidents. He's usually the one that saves engines from accidents.
Speaking of accidents, we actually overheard you talking to the Railway Society about that engine, Smudger.
Oh, yes. I still remember your reactions when I told you the story. It sure did straighten you two out.
It's been so long since I've heard the story, I don't really remember much about it.
You're not talking about the Col de Fel engine who fell off the mountain, are you? No, that was Godred. Although Smudger also kind of fell off a mountain too. Very similar fate, if you ask me.
Fell off a mountain? You never told us that.
Oh yeah, I probably kept that detail vague after Falcon himself nearly fell off a mountain, as not to scare him.
Smudger was a Fletcher Jennings engine like Rheneas, only he was green. Hello, you must be the new engine. My name is Crimson, like my colour, even though they often say I'm red.
They call me Smudger, and you must be Duke. Ah, yes, I know all about you. Named after the Duke of Sodor. Such a big honor. Can I call you Dukey?
Dukey? I don't know if my grace would have approved of that.
Very well then, Brown Buster. Now where's my work? Come on, I've already been too bored today.
Quite an eager sort, isn't he?
Yeah, a trait of a really useful engine. I was never more wrong in my entire life. He was very bouncy and became extremely reckless.
Jesus! Careful! Be careful! Trucks aren't meant to be bashed around like that.
No bother. Everyone needs a little jolt in their lives. Living on the edge is what I say.
Idiot.
It wasn't long until Smudger started having constant accidents.
Oh, bother. Fiddlesticks!
I've seen many well-meaning engines who are just very clumsy. But Smudger was different. He had a complete lack of regard for safety. His attitude was just as rough as his riding. This is just pathetic, youngster. This won't do.
Listen, Dookie, who worries about a few spills?
We do here. You're lucky you haven't killed anyone.
Come on, chill, Dookie. I'm not causing no harm.
Chill? I'm not ice cream. I simply do not chill. You better get your act together, Buster, or there will be some bad things in store for you. Smudger never took my advice, but it wasn't long before the final nail in the coffin came. One day, he was assigned to take a passenger train. Why the manager trusted him with that, I'll never know, but he certainly didn't afterwards. Big shock, Smudger rode roughly on the mountain road above the river.
Swag. That's what I've got. Swag. Fiddlesticks! Oh no! Son of a bitch!
By some miracle, no one was killed, but needless to say, it was a huge disaster. Well, I'm not going to say anything.
Ah, you know what you are, Grandpa Puffer? You're nothing but a stinking old...
I will not repeat what he called me that day, as this must remain PG. He was brought back to the shed. Surprisingly, his damage was not too severe, but that didn't matter to the manager. I have had it with you, rotten rider. I'm going to make you useful at last. Smudger stopped laughing then. He was turned into a generator and put at the back of the shed. He stayed there for over 20 years.
Finally, he was moved somewhere else on the line, somewhere out of sight of the tracks, so probably a warehouse or factory. What happened to him when the railway closed? I couldn't tell you in the slightest. Or buried alive, who knows?
Did they find anything?
Nope, but that's kind of what I expected. They've looked around those old sheds many times. But we did see remnants of a factory off the line. There may have been a boiler or an engine used there, but it would be impossible to tell at this point. It's been long gone.
It's a good thing you did your visit today. There's a big storm coming tomorrow. That waterfall's getting more intense. This is gonna be pretty bad. The nice thing about not having a cab is I don't have to go out in this weather, 'cause the drivers don't like getting wet either. It's a legitimate excuse.
Hello, Bertram. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm just a bit shaken, but much better, thank you.
Hey, we've all had bad accidents. I don't think I need to tell you about my history with them. Woo! Man.
Oh, trust me, I've had way, way worse.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't remember you having any major scrapes here or on the Mid-Sodor. When was this? Please tell us.
It was the first time I came to the railway on loan. Back in 1929, I think?
1929? Bertram, you came to the railway in 1998.
And what do you mean by first time? Have you been here before?
Yes, Skarloey and Rheneas. Don't you remember?
No, we don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, you probably wouldn't. I was only here briefly at the quarry on loan. I do remember seeing you both.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's weird. I remember most of the engines on this line, even the loaned ones.
Wait a minute, hold on. I remember a loaned engine at the quarry around that time, but he was a tank engine. And didn't he,
Fall off of a bridge? Yes. Yes, I was a tank engine back then, but after that accident, I clearly needed a rebuild.
Wait. You're telling me that you were that tank engine who fell off the old iron bridge?
The story you told me that I used to spook Duncan with?
Yes, that's me.
Holy shit! Quick question. If that is true, considering you have likely heard that story from the other engines in the past 15 years or so you've been here, doesn't it seem a bit odd that you tell us only now?
Not only that, but if this was before you went from the Mid-Sodor Railway, shouldn't you have brought that up in conversation by now, or what's up with that?
I don't know. Seriously. It's like I don't remember it until after my accident. It's like...
The accident a few days ago caused you to uncover memories that had been lost since the accident on the bridge? That makes sense.
Yeah, it would explain his personality.
You're probably right, Sir Handel. For a while, my first memory was in the workshop being tested as a George England-class engine like Duke. But now, there's a whole chapter in my brain before that. I'm so sorry. I didn't try to hide this information. I genuinely did not know.
Like Sir Handel just said, given you're a loudmouth, I think I'd buy that.
I was a tank engine built from a boiler they found. My owner leased me to various railways throughout the United Kingdom. I came to the Skarloey Railway back in 1929, I think.
Of course. That would line up with my recollections. I didn't see you much, though.
That's because I didn't leave the quarry much during the day. Most times I'd go out at night. I was a shy type, too.
We had quite a few leased engines that came and went, but I do remember you.
Yes, I remember how much I admired both of your red coats of paint.
Yep, I always said red was the best color for an engine. That's why I'm so splendid.
Yes, indeed. Show off. Please continue, Bertram.
It was October 15th, 1929, I think. I was coming back after delivering trucks. I think my drivers had been partying, so they were not 100% sober. My side rods had come loose. My driver and fireman ignored it, which was a very catastrophic decision. As I approached the bridge, they were singing. From what I remember, it was September by Earth, Wind and Fire, which doesn't make any sense given that wasn't written for another 50 years. Very interesting. I love that song. But how is that—
Never mind that. You've had a head injury. What happened?
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry. The mist was rising on the old iron bridge. Despite how slowly I went across, the loose side rods must have caught on something, and I fell off the bridge into the swamps below! And that's it. I woke up at Crovan's Gate Works, only now I was a tender engine. A George England class, like Duke.
But Skarloey, you said they never found an engine.
Yes, I did. I thought that was the case.
Really? I thought I heard that they did find the engine, and the bodies.
I knew they found the bodies, but not the engine.
So they didn't survive? After falling over 300 feet?
He's right. If they survived the fall, which is doubtful, they would have immediately drowned in that thick mud. I'm sure what happened is they tried to fudge some of the details because this was obviously a huge liability. You both may have heard different versions from different sources.
But why would they want to rebuild an engine who fell off a bridge and got buried in the mud? Seems like an obvious write-off.
That I can't tell you. I honestly have no idea.
You know, I think I know why. Dukes, don't you remember the hype of them building their own George England engine, and then walking back on it saying that they didn't have the budget, but then suddenly they found a way?
Yes, I remember you and Bertram always joked about him being a fake George England, right?
But I suppose our manager at that point was a bit shady at times. So then why were you left in the mine?
One of the final straws in the Mid-Sodor Railway's collapse was major flooding in 1946. The tracks to the mine were washed away while I was there, and so I was pretty much abandoned, left there in desolation. I was expected that they would come back for me one day, and they did, over 50 years later, but you know what they say, better late than never, I suppose.
Yes, when Toby found you.
It was actually the signalman who first found me in the entrance to the mine shaft. He lit my fire and made me steam just to move up to the end of the line one night. That's when I met Toby.
Yes, but if you were discovered while Toby was on guard at night after a full day of cleaning up, how did no one find you earlier? Even if they didn't see you, did you not call out?
I certainly slept a lot during the day. I was more of a night owl back then. As to why they didn't see me sooner, I honestly can't tell you that. There must have been some convenient details. Let me think.
Never mind. I just cannot tell you how relieved I am that I can put to rest the fate of that tank engine long ago.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe if you bump your head again, you'll find out you were yet another engine before you were the tank engine. Well, yeah, didn't you say you were built from a boiler they found?
Well, it's Well, it's...
Hello, you all. This is urgent. The storm has done a lot of damage up in the mountains. The water level has risen very high. We need engines on deck right away to help with the cleanup.
I guess I'll go. Toodaloo. I'm feeling a lot better.
Yes, sir. We'll join too.
What's the matter, Duke?
Nothing. I think I'll tag along with them.
Thank you for coming. We've got a lot of trucks to move around for Fred when he comes back from picking up debris.
I hate to sound like I'm rubbing it in, but are you still able to work on bridges or high up? Don't want you slipping off the mountain again.
Oh, yes. I like to think I'm still a careful engine. You've had experience with that, haven't you?
Well, at least I didn't actually fall. Unlike that Goldie Fell engine who basically rolled down the mountain. Godred, wasn't it?
Yeah, or what about Smudger?
Smudger? You mean the green engine?
Yeah, you know about him, right?
Oh, yes, of course. I remember seeing him as the generator on our old line. Quite the sad story there.
Wait a minute. You came to the railway years after Smudger disappeared. You couldn't have seen him.
Indeed. That does not add up.
Oh, maybe I must be thinking of someone else.
I have a question. You mentioned you were built from a boiler they found. Where exactly was this boiler?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it was a powerhouse?
A powerhouse, eh? Now, why would they use a boiler from there to create an engine? Seems like it wouldn't be compatible, unless the boiler itself started out as an engine.
What are you on about, Duke?
I wouldn't know. Maybe I was an engine of some kind. My memory's still a bit wobbly, admittedly.
Yeah, you're shaking a lot, Bertram. Is there something you want to tell us?
Dude, leave him alone. He's had a traumatic accident.
An accident that revealed a forgotten past. But I wonder if there's more to the story. Were you cannibalized from another engine? Or were you just temporarily used as, I don't know, something like a generator?
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Do you have something to say, Bertram? Or should I call you that?
I don't have anything to say.
Of course you don't. You're a coward. You'd never fess up.
Now excuse me. I am not a coward. If you hadn't noticed, they nicknamed me the Old Warrior. And despite all your preaching and moaning, I'm still here, Dookie.
What on earth is going on here? Quiet! What did you just call me?
Oh my god. It's true.
No.
Oh dear, the jig is up.
Good news. I think the search for Smudger has been completed. He's right there.
Well, bless my bow.
Good tidings, fine engine.
This is your ghost, Toby. His name's really Bertram, but we call him the Old Warrior because he's so brave. He was in that mine shaft over there, but I brought him out earlier this evening. Sorry about the confusion.
How did you end up here?
And despite all your preaching and moaning, I'm still here, Dookie.
What did you just call me?
Good news! I think the search for Smudger has been completed. He's right there.
Okay, wait. You're saying that you were Smudger this entire time? From the beginning?
Mind blown.
Yes, it's true. The Loner Railway was building a new tank engine and found me by the old powerhouse. Since my boiler was still in fairly good condition, they decided to just use me and convert me into that tank engine. This was in 1928. I'm so sorry, Duke. I didn't remember this until my accident a few days ago. But I'm a changed engine now, and I've truly amended my ways. I hope you understand.
I think I understand. I now understand that a horrible, reckless engine was given too many second chances. I understand that you were preserved twice, while I, who did nothing wrong, was left to rot away in a shed buried for years.
So was I. Twice.
They told me a full-functioning engine. Oh, you're too old. We have no use for you. But meanwhile, half an engine rusting away as his punishment was considered okay to be repaired?
These happened at different times. I'm sure the circumstances were different too. And it's not my fault that I was given more chances than I deserved. It was just dumb luck.
Dumb luck? More like twisted, sick injustice! I don't believe it! They saved you, but not me! You, who are a complete, utter abomination! You, who are a rude, foul-mouthed little green gangster! You did not deserve to be saved! You have no right to still exist!
Okay, Duke, calm down. Let's just...
Don't tell me to calm down, Sir Handel. You weren't there. Hey, wasn't I reckless too when I first arrived? Yes, a bit, but we're not talking about being reckless. Smudger here was sadistic.
May have been back then, but he's clearly changed long ago. Remember on the Mid-Sodor, that incident?
And I did my time as punishment for that. I still had my memory when I was the tank engine, and I swore never again to ride dangerously.
And what happened on the old iron bridge?
That was a terrible accident. Like I said, my loose side rod probably got caught on the bridge.
Accident, eh? When you had that accident on the Mid-Sodor Railway, it was a miracle that no one was killed. Your driver and fireman were badly injured, but it's like the universe saved everyone from your carelessness. I was relieved that justice had been served with no innocent victims taken. But no. Even after you had been given a second chance, you managed to take 2 lives on the old iron bridge.
Are you suggesting that I fell off the old iron bridge on purpose?
You fell off because you were still Smudger. I'm positive you fell off because you were riding roughly.
I most certainly did not.
Bullshit! You killed those 2 men with your asinine behavior. So much for this must be PG. Get back here, you little shit! I'd really love to kill you now. Hey, Duke! No one chases engines on this line. You can't run away from Dookie this time. God damn, that bastard's fast.
This is completely out of character for you, Duke.
Ah, reached the point of no return. Let's see if you survive falling off this bridge again. Or maybe I should just push you off. Don't you dare lay a buffer on him!
No! It's too dangerous!
Get back here, you little bitch! Leave it, dude! You'll... Oh, shit! Help! What did I tell you? Help!
Oh no! We gotta help him!
We can't! He's trapped! Oh dear! Oh! Why was I so stupid? Oh! My Grace would not approve of this behavior. I'm so sorry. What have I done?
We gotta do something. The water will carry him to the deep of the lake. Bertram barely survived it when it was calm.
What do we do?
We should reverse back and loop around to the other side of the lake.
We won't make it. Remember on the mid-Sodor, that incident? Remember? Help! Help! Oh dear.
Don't worry, the old warrior is riding to the rescue.
Careful, Bertram! Don't be stupid!
Never fear, I've got you.
Oh, but he will. Bertram, I'm sorry. Please help me.
Bertram, be careful!
Smudger would not have done that. Smudger would not have done this. Oh, please hurry. Hooray!
Phew, that was close.
Oh, you didn't need to do that. I was an absolute ass. I'm so sorry, Bertram. I feel so idiotic and mournful. You should have just left me there. I can't tell you, I am a disgrace to my Grace, and I don't know how you can forgive me.
No, I'm the one that's sorry. Sorry for everything. You had every right to be angry with me, Duke. Even when I was Smudger, I was a horrible engine. I didn't deserve all those second chances. I should have been on that collapsing bridge, and I wouldn't blame you if you had left me there.
No, Smudger was selfish, but Bertram is selfless. You always were willing to lend a helping wheel and put yourself in danger to rescue others. I was amazed at how brave you were rescuing Skarloey from those gunpowder thieves. That's why you were nicknamed the Old Warrior.
The reason I started off so reckless was because my first driver was reckless himself. He was a very bad influence. After a year or so, he was swiftly fired, but I could never get his influence off me. His carefree and incompetent attitude rubbed off on me, a young, impressionable engine. There was likely alcohol involved as well, let's be honest.
Wait, was your driver named Stanley?
Yes, that was him. When he was gone, I thought the other drivers were just being grumpy stick-in-the-muds and rebelled.
Now that you've told me about Stanley, things are starting to make a lot more sense. He seemed like quite an abusive fellow, too. You know, let me tell you a secret. I may have been a bit reckless when I was first built, too. When I briefly worked on the S.M.U.D.G.ER in 1879.
Really? Oh, please, tell me about it.
Don't tell the others. Maybe not to your extreme, but I did not fit well with the other George England engines. I was so ashamed of that behavior that it molded me into the strict engine today. But I guess one has to realize that everyone needs a little jolt in their lives.
What goes around comes around, I suppose.
Oh, hey, there was something I was going to tell you. What was it? Oh, yeah, don't cross the old iron bridge. It's closed because it's a bit wobbly.
Good grief! With all these mysteries having the most unexpected answers, I now think my whole life is a lie.
Oh well, at least I decided to have my accident before you started writing the book.
But even before all this new information, I can definitely see now why they call you the Old Warrior.
It's because he invented the game of basketball.
Huh? What? I don't get it. You know, the basketball team, the Warriors.
Well, that was terrible.
Anyway, let's see if we can get a wide shot of all the narrow gauge engines here. I'm always amazed at how versatile your little engines are. You must be proud. Oh, yes, indeed. Particularly after that storm. They cleaned up so efficiently.
I still can't believe you just shoved through that mudslide on the trip back on that day. You could have derailed.
Well, what else were we gonna do? I wasn't gonna wait all day to get home. And if you remember, the bridge going the other way was out.
Yeah, it was a bit of a risk, but...
Yes, but what is the exuberance of life without a few risks? That's my motto.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between taking risks and being reckless. Every wise engine knows that. But alas, I'm saying that to two engines who definitely have become wise.
We're not as wise as Grandpa.
In many ways you are. You both had no qualms about calling out my psychotic behavior with Bertram. You have both grown quite a lot from those young scallywags. Thanks, Grandpa. I've tried my best to be useful. I mean, I may have nearly fallen off a mountain, but at least I didn't throw an elephant statue in the lake like Duncan did right there.
You know, I actually did fall off a mountain. Those were some crazy times, weren't they, Dookie? I mean, some crazy times that I am glad are in the past, Your Grace.
Yes, those were in the past. But a good engine learns from their past.
Yes, indeed. Smudger had a bad past, so Smudger learned to be Bertram. Smudger is now gone, but Bertram is here to stay.